We continue our live coverage here at Barclays 2019 NBA Draft presented by State Farm. We go back from 5-1. The Cavs and Garland. It was the Hawks and DeAndre Hunter, R.J. Barrett, to the team his grandfather used to watch, the Knicks. Ja Morant now will be ruling things in Memphis with the tag team partner, of course, we'll talk about in a second. And no partner needed with that suit for Zion, who now will have all the free beignets he can ever ask for as we get a chance to welcome in a man who was certainly, speaking of top 5 picks, last year in this spot for the Grizz, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Now enjoys the red light more than our own 3D. I saw you up there. You're in the studio. I mean, look at the big smile in the watch. I mean, how do you not? Woo.
That watch is blinging right now. Blinding me over here.
Whoa. Goodness. What's the biggest difference between you as a person a year ago when you were in this room on this date and now?
Well, I wasn't shaking tremendously the whole time. You know, I was a little more relaxed. But being on the other side of the camera was great, getting to interview these guys. And, you know, something that was so consistent is this class is just so humble. Like, they're just great kids. Like, and there's no phony in them at all. From 1 to 14, usually the guys in the lotto, the guys I was interviewing, but all those guys really.
If you would have gone back to last year and could have given yourself a piece of advice, now, Jaren, having gone through your first year, which maybe now you can do with Ja, what would you be telling yourself?
If it doesn't come immediately, you know, don't get frustrated, because that'll rattle you a little bit. I mean, all these guys were the best players at where they were from, so they're coming into the league. It's not really starting over, but it is starting a little lower. You got to learn the game kind of in a new way, in a new headspace, and you got to stay level-headed. But keep asking questions. You got a bunch of people to lean on. Ja's gonna have us to lean on, and you know, specifically for him, he'll have nothing to worry about. So,
Jared, you know, you got a chance to come in with 2 veterans, Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. Neither of those guys are there. Talk about how much they helped you and what you can pass on to Ja Morant because of the veterans you had.
Well, first off, Mark and Mike, like, they meant everything to the city, you know, not just their game, just how they were as people. And that always rubbed off on us, you know, even if they didn't give us direct advice, they led by example. And, you know, when you lose vets like that, you got to come together as a team, you know, pick one another up. You know, I'm not a vet, but, like, there's things that I learned in my first year that I could tell Ja. There's things that Kyle knows, there's things that Dylan knows from his years of playing. So, you know, everyone has their own stories, but you lean on all your guys for help. It don't matter who they are.
Jaren, you're obviously not much older than these guys, this rookie class. Of this group, who did you know that you were going against a couple years ago in the AAU circuit and all that? You know, and you said, you know what? That one's special.
Yeah, RJ. RJ was, you know, that's like my brother. You know, I've always been playing against him. I played against him in FIBA and out there too, because he's on the Canada team. So we've had some battles, and in high school too against Mount Verde. So, you know, I've always saw that dog in him, and I just always appreciated that he's going hard all the time. Don't matter if we're friends. Probably because we were friends, it was worse. So, you know, he's one guy I can think of. But all these guys, I've been seeing them at camps, like Cam Reddish, who I think, you know, people really got to stop sleeping, because I've seen some stuff. Like, he's taking off on dudes, and he's really going to catch a lot of people by surprise, but not me. I'm already known.
Not you?
Not me. I'm already known.
So you didn't get dunked on your whole rookie year?
A little bit, but, you know, short-term memory.
Short-term memory.
And now the footage. No, I'm just kidding.
You would do that to me on NBA TV. Look at you.
Listen, man, you guys have drafted a great one in Ja Morant. What do you see in his game, and how do you think it fits with your game? How do you guys think you guys mix together? Because guess what? You guys are now the building blocks for the Memphis Grizzlies. Yep. You talked about Mike Conley and Gasol and what they meant to the city. Now it's you and Ja, what you guys mean to the city, what you mean to this team.
Well, it's not just us. I mean, we're going to have a ton of help. I mean, you look at all the guys. You look at Dylan, Kyle. You look at the guys, you know, in the trade with Mike, Jay, and all them. They can come in and help right away. But specifically about Ja, he's versatile. You know, that's what I bring, and that's what he brings. You see him on his team. He's passing, rebounding, scoring. He's getting triple-doubles. His usage rate's at an all-time high. So I'm just looking for him to do similar things with us.
All right, well, listen, first of all, thank you. And I'm sure you remember your enjoyment in this building, because it was just passed to me. Your career-high 36-point game, I forgot, was in this building.
Yeah.
2 overtime. So
he went to that school.
Yeah, not Michigan, but the other.
Yeah, the Michigan State. He went to that school.
Yeah, you know the name. Don't act like you don't know.
Come on, man.
You know.
Well, you're wearing Tar Heel colors, so
he got on the right color tonight. That's all that matters.
Yeah. You know what? I'm with
Okay.
you. We ain't
Oh, excuse me.
It's okay.
He's liking that outfit.
Hey,
Yeah, I love it.
Since you want, hey, you know what? Let's try something. Since you want to be part of this, to remind you that your career should take slow. I know Andy knows it, but Andy, stay right there. Let's give you the pick for the Detroit Pistons, and why don't you
put him on the
tell us
spot. Put him
how
on
do
the
I
spot.
say that name, Jaron?
Oh, Sekou Doumbouya.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
not bad. That wasn't terrible.
Hey, but look, I gave it
Doumbouya.
effort. I
Sekou
gave it effort.
Doumbouya.
You nailed it.
There you
Now,
go.
do we have some footage? Let Jaron break down his game. Let's show some video. Go ahead, Mr.
Well, I
Jackson.
saw
Take
that
over.
he's
What do you
young,
got?
so let's say that, transition, he can handle the rock. He's pushing it with his right, getting blocks. He's quick off his feet. His second jump's probably really good. You know, I see a lot of, look, he's raw, but he's athletic. He's trying. I like that. He's driving to the basket. Okay. Oh, and he's got the left. All right, so he's showing his right and his left. He's got both. He's athletic. He's young. And he looks like he's ready to go. And he's got a great name.
Oh, we
Hey,
have
man,
Smitty's
he's
replacement when he
already-
retires.
Hey,
He's
Smith, he's ready to take your job off the roof.
That's what we do at Michigan State. We're going to be next.
Ain't nobody taking nothing. We're going to do it together.
That's how you're supposed to look at it, young
Yeah,
fella. I
there
like
you
that.
go.
Go green.
Jaron, appreciate it. Andy, now we'll let you at. This is a player a lot of people like, even though coming from overseas, the knowledge base not as good for some.
Well, he's definitely a player who caught fire over the last month or so in the NBA draft, and we'll see this a lot. Detroit, by the way, has a history, not a great history always, of going international. Don't want to bring up Darko, but I will. But this is a player that certainly, Tom, if he is playing right away, you know, potentially a little raw, but could help them, or we'll wait and see. You know,
Draft and stash?
Yes.
Are you going to say it? Are you going to say
draft
it?
and stash, maybe.
All right. So the draft and stash concept is you let him ripen and improve as a player on somebody else's dime over in Europe. Then you bring him in and put him on his rookie scale when he's ready. I'm not sure this is a candidate for that. You normally don't do it at 15, and they need help. You know, they need players now. But we will see some draft and stash, and I know you just want to do
Hey,
it.
you like
want
him,
to get into
Smitty,
that.
right? You like the player. I know in watching videos.
Yeah, I do.
You like
I
him.
mean, I think he's raw. I mean, we don't have a lot of footage of him, but just watching him, he's fluent. He moves well at his size. And here's a kid. You just never know when you have an athletic guy that's athletic, and also you have some other guys that he can learn from in Drummond and Blake Griffin. And like Tom said, and we all know, Pistons need help right now.
Now, you should always listen to coaches of players, because they kind of look, players get an idea if somebody's interested in you. We were watching up as we were getting ready our pregame show from Atlanta, and our guy Bruce Pearl, who was on set with us doing the tournament a couple of years ago, and he said Chuma Okeke, who will be in the first round, and others. And Smitty and I look, I'm like, in no mock is he anywhere even close. But somebody might have known that there was a conversation, perhaps, because at 16, the Orlando Magic.
This is the shocker, guys, of the first round. Without question.
More than Cam Johnson?
I think more than Cam Johnson, that he's going number 16. Look, Chuma had a great season up until tearing his ACL in that NCAA tournament game against North Carolina when they had 17 threes. I was in that Auburn locker room. He was crying. There was no jubilation because of what happened. Auburn still goes on to knock off rival Kentucky and get to the Final Four. And Chuma declares for the NBA draft despite that ACL injury. Obviously, Orlando's not expecting anything from him, Tom, because he's out with an ACL. But I still think this is a high pick for him at 16.
Doesn't make much sense, does it, for a team, Tom, that needs guys who can help right now?
Well, John Hammond took a chance on a guy named Antetokounmpo at 15.
That's right.
And I don't know. What do you guys think his upside is? How high can he fly?
He has unbelievable upside. I've watched him play a lot. I mean, the only down negative right now is that we don't know you coming back from an ACL. But before that ACL, tremendous upside. I mean, he played above the rim. He played extremely hard. He had a huge ceiling. It's just because of the ACL, it's a shock that you were taking this high. But talent-wise, I mean, he was up there.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, he was doing a great job against my Tar Heel before tearing his ACL. And you just look at the fact that he's somebody that has the athleticism. He fits in with a lot of what Orlando wants to do, I guess, from a defensive standpoint. But he guards very, very well. You thought maybe they might go in a different direction, but at the same time, he recovers from his ACL injury. I think they got a very good player.
I think it's time for high risk, high reward. That sort of makes sense in this scenario because Orlando, we joked about it earlier, they finally got to some version of respectable. They got over 500. They made the playoffs. They were hot at the end of the year. But what's their ceiling as a team? Where are they going to go? They need something special, and it's going to be hard to find, and so maybe it's a high-risk, high-reward sort of scenario.
You know, you look at high risk and high reward, and you think about kind of where you sit with some of the teams that are growing. You hear the chants of the Brooklyn Nets for Brooklyn with some of the unknowns that they have. Now, they get the 17th pick initially in that Atlanta deal, which was the Allen Crabbe switcheroo, if you will. Again, Atlanta, who also added Solomon Hill, so they're taking on some hills of contracts that they will eventually get rid of. But for the Nets, Tom, how do they set themselves up? Obviously, the fans are excited about the future. They hear about Kyrie. How do you see the Nets now moving forward?
Well, look, the Nets, in a different way than Orlando, had a very respectable year with optionality going forward. Their young guys popped. D'Angelo Russell came out of nowhere and all of a sudden reinvigorated himself. They could keep him, and the reason they moved Crabbe was to be big-time players in free agency. So they're looking to add another veteran into this building with all this enthusiasm. Can they get Kyrie Irving to come? Do they keep D'Angelo to run with him, or do they go for Kyrie and Durant, as we've heard about, and other things to shake this up? And in the meantime, if it doesn't work out, unlike the Knicks, they can fall back to what they are. They just play their tails off. They're, a lot of versatile players, and at least there's room for improvement.
And the Nets, obviously, of course, we talk about, they split a hat game, 3-card money. Where's the pick under? Because this, again, has been hosted by 3 teams. It was Atlantis, then it was Brooklyn's, now it's New Orleans, who has the pick at 17. So a lot going on. A lot of names, though, because of some of the surprises. Before we find out where the Pels go at 17, we go back to their pick at 8, Jackson Hayes, who's with Jared Greenberg.
Reported moves tonight around the NBA, and one man who's been reportedly right in the center of it is Jackson Hayes.
Yes, sir.
Going to the New Orleans Pelicans. Big night for the Pels.
Yes, sir. Very
How does this feel
night.
for you, man?
I'm just really excited. Excited to finally hear my name called. Excited that my family's here with me. So just overall, just my body's feeling really excited right now.
Did you have any conversations with New Orleans through this whole process?
Yes, sir. I met with them at the Combine, and I met with them again yesterday, actually. So, yes, sir.
It seems like they love your athleticism.
Yes, sir.
How do you think you and Zion together will be as a pair?
I feel like it'll be a really good pair. Obviously, he's a freak athlete, and I'm a pretty good athlete too, so I feel like we'll match up good together. We'll play well together.
I was reading about the story of you playing against Zion in AAU when you were in high school.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
What do you remember about that?
I remember our team. We had a really good team. Me and Romeo were on it versus Zion and his team, and we beat him in Dallas, and it was just a fun game.
Now you get to battle him in practice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.